Hi, it's Sharon from Grace's neighbor Sharon. I hope you enjoy the video. Project number 1. Everybody welcome, wall hanger. We're using some napkins I got off eBay. I have this piece of a cupboard that I got at the Habitat for Humanity restore. It was only $2. And then this little bunny was part of a 2-pack from Dollar Tree. And then I traced the bunny on cardboard and set it aside. So if I want to use the shape again, I can just cut it out using the template. I'm also going to be using some Mod Podge. I went ahead and painted the bunny, I believe that's oatmeal. Oh, I guess I'm showing you the cupboard again, sorry about that. So the bunny is painted oatmeal because I thought I ordered white paint, and when it came, it was Castle, which is light gray. And when I checked, I did in fact order Castle chalk paint. So I accidentally navigated away from the white paint purchase page and purchased the gray. So I did do the Everybody Welcome on my Cricut, and there I was making sure that the bunny and the words fit, and they do because I measured it beforehand. I wish the words were a tiny bit bigger. I did measure it, but I'm always worried it's going to be too big. But I think at this point I need to worry about it being too small. So it took me a little bit to get this transfer tape on. The grid helps, so if it went down and stuck but the grid wasn't even, then I took it off and tried it again. And then of course it takes me a while to get the backing off. I flip it upside down and pull the backing off the transfer tape, and that's supposed to be the easiest way of doing it. I went ahead and set that off to the side while I applied some Mod Podge to the bunny. Now the napkin is kind of, I don't want to say it's dark, but it's got a lot of color on it. So I don't think the color of the bunny is going to factor in as far as the color of the napkin goes in the finished product. So I'm going to head and just spraying the words with the finishing spray. And then I took the bunny and put it on my tripod, my ring light, got it underneath the ceiling fan and got it dried off. So once it was dried off, I separated the floral part of the napkin from the backing, and I think there was actually 2 extra plies, so 3 plies altogether. And then my favorite thing to do, I am going to use my Hippo heat press and iron the napkin onto the Mod Podged bunny shape. We do that because it reactivates something. And I love this Hippo heat press. It fits in my hand really well. I can control it well. And it's super, it has 3 super hot settings. Afterwards, I just kind of rip the napkin away and then use some sandpaper to get it even with the edge, and I love how that turns out. I will do that like 99.9% of the time. However, the other 0.1% I will burn, just like you see here. And I did that because of the ears. I didn't feel like messing around with the ears, so I just set them on fire, and it came out perfect. I sanded it a little bit, but not much. Now I'm sanding that cupboard front, which is like my blank, my white blank, and I sanded a little bit on the back of the bunny as well, so they'll stick together. I'm using some wood glue. It'll be wood glue and hot glue, long-term hold and immediate hold. And guys, this is so easy. A Dollar Tree bunny, a napkin, and a piece of a cupboard from the Habitat for Humanity store. I got these ribbons from Dollar Tree just because they were new and they had words, and I'd never tried ribbons like that before. So I'm going to put one up near the bunny's ears, and there we have it, a better look at the final reveal. Project number 2. One bunny is different, wall hanger. I'm going to use this 12 pack of bunnies. They all came with little white pom-pom tails. I'm also using the pom-pom ribbon. That's going to be one tail. And then I have the cork board from Dollar Tree with the adhesive back, and I have the canvas, 8x10 canvas. So we're going to do a reverse canvas to get things started. Sometimes you find like a nice gem of a frame underneath the canvas. This was not one of those times. It was kind of blocky, and it was strange the way it was put together. Like one side was long, one side was short. I mean, I've seen people do it. I just was surprised that Dollar Tree did it. Or maybe I shouldn't be surprised. Anyway, grabbing some burnt umber acrylic paint and using a very damp baby wipe, I rubbed that paint all over the outside, inside, and the front, leaving the back plain because it's going to be covered up by the foam core board. So just making sure that foam core board fits on the back of the frame, and then I'll use the foam core board as a template for the adhesive chalkboard. And I want to take a minute here to say thank you to my loyal subscribers. You keep coming back video after video as I learn and as I take my journey. You've been with me a lot since the beginning, and I just want to say thank you. I appreciate every little thing you do, even if you're just clicking on a thumb. You can also leave comments, but you don't have to. I know some people are quiet listeners, but you could also just do an emoji and just post an emoji. You know, any little thing like that helps, and I'm very, very appreciative of that. And I also want to say a big welcome to any new viewers who might be thinking about subscribing. I would love it for you to join the journey. All right, so I got everything put together there, and I didn't feel the need to staple every square inch this time like I usually do. So I used some hot glue there, and then you'll see me coming in with the stapler for the corners. And that's like the big stapler, and that's just because I'm stapling into wood. And the wood isn't super soft, so, you know, I needed a good stapler like that. Now I'm taking my 9 bunnies, so I'm using 9 out of 12. So I actually still have 3 left to do other stuff. And I really like these little bunnies. I trimmed the tail off that one that you see still on the desk, and I actually trimmed off a pom-pom from the pom-pom ribbon and replaced the white tail with the blue tail. But it's super, super subtle. So actually, after the camera was turned off, I added a bow to sort of draw more attention to it. But you'll see that in the final reveal. For now, I want you to see that I'm using the 2 kinds of glue again, the wood glue, Elmer's wood glue, and some hot glue. And then I'm just being very specific about the first 3. And then once those are all measured, then I can do the other ones identical, you know, underneath. I'm grabbing some of this blue ribbon that I've had forever that I hardly ever use, and I don't know why, because it's a really pretty blue. And my thought was to sort of balance out the blue on the bunny tail. Even though I didn't realize at the time how subtle the bunny tail was. You kind of have to look for it. But I'm liking this 2-part bow. So the bottom part, I'm making 2 loops out of the Dollar Tree burlap and lace ribbon. When I have the 2 loops, I'm going to cinch them together, just like I do with any other bow. And I'm not sure what I use to tie them together. I think just twine. Wrap it around a couple times and make sure it's tied really tight in the back, and then trim the tails. Then the blue bow with the awareness ribbon bow is just going to be glued right on top. And then together they're going to be glued onto the corner. And what's funny is until I started YouTube, I really wasn't doing corner bows like this. And now I'm kind of getting the hang of them. I wanted some embellishments on this. I didn't want it to be all sleek and modern, even though it could be if I wanted it to. So I added some, greenery and little flowers that were kind of all over the place. You'll get a better look at the final reveal. Project number 3. Pom-pom-tailed bunny door hanger. Starting off with this Dollar Tree yarn, this white Dollar Tree yarn, and part of a cereal box that I've been cutting up. I used some round objects to make a pom-pom maker. So a handmade pom-pom maker. And then I cut a slit, and that's what you use to wrap it. And you see here, I'm showing you how I wrapped all the way around and then back, and now I'm coming all the way around again. And I just do like a small sections and layer it, like, I don't know, maybe 2, 3, 4 layers, and then just keep doing that all the way around, and it gets thicker and thicker. Now, if I had a smaller pom-pom maker, it would definitely be thicker, but since it was pretty wide, I went ahead and stopped, trimmed all the yarn at the edges to open it up, and then took a piece of yarn and wrapped it around where it opened up. I almost want to try using 2 homemade pom-pom makers and then just cutting in between them. I feel like maybe that might get me a better shape, that I won't have to do so much trimming. I did lose a few strands there, you'll see, but that was fine because I'm going to shake it out and kind of flatten the bottom because that's where it's going to be glued to the bunny. So this is a bunny that I purchased at Dollar Tree, and this is a, I call it a farmhouse style plate. I guess it's a buffalo check or black gingham, however you want to say it. So before I use the bunny, I am going to trace it on this piece of Dollar Tree cookie sheet, and that's just if I want to have a project with that shape bunny, I can cut out what I traced and use it as a template. So I can keep creating this shape of bunny indefinitely. So I didn't have any white chalk paint. You may remember I mentioned that in the previous project, but I do have white chalk paste from Chalk Couture. So I added some of that to the gray paint. And I got kind of a streaky finish, but I'm kind of okay with it. I went ahead and used the same brush with my coral chalk paint to do the pink part of his ears, and then I came back with a little bit more white on top of the pink because it was a little bit dark for me. Now, as the paint dries, I'm seeing that there's some pretty dark gray streaks, and so I may be gluing on the pom-pom tail, but I'm thinking ahead as to how I can remedy that. So that was just school glue, clear school glue. I believe that was Elmer's clear school glue. But to do the bunny, I'm using Dollar Tree super glue. And you'll see me turning it upside down, applying the glue, then turning it back to make sure that's where it's going to touch. And I did that a few times, checking, and then went ahead and got my hot glue in there. And it was perfect. And it's cool because it only touches in about 3 or 4 different places, so you don't have to glue like the whole back of the bunny. So we got the bunny on there, got the pom-pom on there, got the paint on there, and then it was like, okay, let's sand these streaks and see if we can soften them up. That was my remedy. And it did kind of help. I wish it helped a little bit more, but I'm okay with how it came out. So I'm going to make this 2-part bow, bottom part, top part. The bottom part is just loops. I made them a little bit longer than what I thought I needed because it always seems like they're too short when I do it. So created the 2 loops, using hot glue and then cinch them together like I would with any other bow. I actually used a chenille stem or a pipe cleaner to get that together. I was going to use the chenille stem to attach the top part, but then I changed my mind. So I trimmed the chenille stem, and then I made the awareness ribbon shape and made the bow that I usually make, cinched it all together, and then cinched the bottom bow and top bow together. Lots of cinching and tying. I tied a nice tight knot there, trim the tails, and then I'm coming in with the super glue again on the bottom part, and then I'll do the hot glue on the top part of the bow. I'm super happy with how it came out and how it looks, but I will add another bow this time to the bunny, but I do that off camera, so you'll see that during the final reveal. For now, I'm taking my drill, making some inconspicuous holes, and then taking the buffalo check, the narrow ribbon this time, and creating a hanging rope. Better look at the final reveal.